Hello and welcome. Our next video will be about the distinction between internal rate of return and modified internal rate of return. We will discuss why these two exist and what is the critical difference, and then probably which one is the more relevant one. From the exam perspective, it is important that you can split between those two. Usually the question will clearly indicate which method should be used. Also, as you will see from what we will be discussing, some questions may indicate that you should do the modified internal rate of return, and you will see it by the amount of, or by the type of data, the type of information you're given in the question. So, what is the difference between those two? I'm sure you know what internal rate of return is. It is just the discount rate at which NPV of the project is 0. Alright. This is the definition. Everyone knows that. It's probably been with you for some time. And now let's look at this slightly closer. Let's assume a project like this. You have to put 20,000 on the table in year 0, and then you will earn 5,000 in year 1 and 30,000 in year 2. Now, the internal rate of return on this project is 35.61%, and that's cool. However, internal rate of return has one big disadvantage. This disadvantage is in the fact that IRR assumes that those cash flows are reinvested at that internal rate of return. So basically, if the project generates 5,000 in year 1, that 5,000 between year 1 and 2 earns 35.61%. And that is not a realistic assumption, because here you have a project, something special, and this project is capable of generating the IRR at this rate. Now, it is unlikely that when you just have a little bit of money in your pocket, you are capable of investing that money at the same rate that a project that you undertook first investment 20,000 in to earn you new revenues. In most cases, you will take that 5,000 and put it in the bank, and that will earn you far less interest. Now, why do I say that it is assumed that the 5,000 will be reinvested? Now, look at the cash flows. I'll try to explain it to you in two ways. Well, we spend 20, then we earn 5, and then we earn 30. Now, the idea to get to an NPV of nil is that this is discounted at this rate, and this will be discounted at this rate. Alright, now what happens here? We got our 5,000 in year 1, we got it. For mathematical purposes, we discounted it using the rate of 35 0.61. Then in T2 we got 30,000 and again discounted at the rate of 35.61. Well, what happened in the meantime? Well, we assumed that the rate of 35.61 was still there, didn't we? We can picture it also in a different way. The same situation mathematically can be rearranged into the following situation. We will take that 5, multiply it by 135.61, and then the total here discount by 35.61 square. It is the same mathematical transformation. It is still mathematically the same, but as you see, now the reinvestment rate of 5 is clear. Now, as I said, this is an unrealistic assumption. 5,000 was earned and was put aside, given back to shareholders or kept within the company. It was used for other projects, if we're lucky, or it was just sitting in the bank, if we're not lucky, or it was returned to shareholders and shareholders did something with it. Most likely they put it in the bank. So actually, the modified internal rate of return just says the MIRR is the discount rate at which NPV is nil, but reinvestment rate is the actual rate at which the amounts can be reinvested. So let's say this 5 was put into the bank at 12%. So the MIRR calculation would change this into this. And that would be the X, the MIRR, that we will be looking for. Now, how will it look in practice? At the bottom of the page, you have this worked out. If you reinvest at 12%, your calculations go like this. 5,000 multiplied by 112 will give you 5,600. So the project is equivalent to having 35,600 at the end of the day. And then you're looking for the rate that will discount it by 2 periods. And that X turns out to be 33.42. So in our case, IRR was 35.61, but the MIRR was 33.42. And that is as expected if you consider the fact that the reinvestment rate of all the cash flows generated in earlier years of the project, the reinvestment rate was lower than the internal rate of return. Alright, so this was because reinvestment rate is lower. Very sensible assumption to make. So MIRR is actually a very valuable tool.